living things are made up of tiny units called cells. They are extremely small living units of any living thing. We know that human beings are living things. That means that they are also made up of cells. Speaking of cells, you must know that there are plant cells and animal cells. And yes, the human cell comes under the category of animal cells. Before we move ahead, you need to know that some organisms are made up of only one cell, while some others are made up of many. Wouldn't it be interesting to learn about cells? Let's begin with a tiny organism such as the amoeba. It is made up of only one cell. Such an organism is called a unicellular organism and also known as a single-celled organism. It performs basic activities. It feeds by engulfing tiny food particles. The waste then produced is expelled out of the body. This tiny living being also moves from one place to another. And like all living beings, it responds to stimuli and reproduces. Bacteria and the blue-green algae are also unicellular organisms. Organisms with many cells are called multicellular organisms. Plants and animals are multicellular organisms. Human beings are also multicellular organisms having several million cells, and these cells are of different types. The blood, for example, has different cells like the red blood cells and the white blood cells. In fact, the entire human body is made up of cells, but what are these cells actually doing in the human body? Take a look. Every cell has a definite function to perform. For example, the white blood cells engulf and kill pathogens that have entered the blood. The cells of the heart muscles contract and relax and thus enable the heart to pump blood in the body. Similarly, the cells of the brain perform a definite function of conducting impulses, and this helps bring the organism to be aware of its surrounding. Cells are not simple structures. If we were to peek into a cell, a magnified view of the same would look like this. Every cell has parts, and they are called organelles. All these organelles have definite names and they perform definite tasks. For example, these are mitochondria. They produce energy. And this is a Golgi body, an amazing little organelle that packs and transports useful substances in the cell. What you are now looking at is an animal cell with its organelles. Similarly, this is a model of a plant cell with its various parts. Since we are talking about the living cell, you will understand that like all living things, cells also reproduce cells like themselves. Let us summarize. A living organism is made up of one or more cells which are living units. A unicellular organism is made up of only one cell. Plants and animals are multicellular organisms and each is made up of many million cells. Human beings and all other multicellular organisms are made up of different types of cells. Each cell has a definite function. A typical plant or animal cell is made up of several cell organelles.